Hey guys, so I just had a bit of a directive from Spirit to come on and share a little message that's been kind of percolating for a short amount of time. And many of you are aware that we've had a bit of a timeline split on the planet, which has intensified massively, especially since the pandemic. And it sort of seems like we've got two versions of humanity, or two timelines, actually multiple timelines, but two kind of really intense kind of push-pull timelines going on. And there's those that are stepping further and further onto the path of spirituality, love, awakening, empathy, and those who many say are like clinging to the old version of Earth, clinging to the old ship. But my teams have come in and started to talk to me about how we're about to start seeing a reintegration of those timelines and a coming together, and also a little bit of a switch up. What they said to me tonight is that those of you who are kind of the pioneer healers, those that have been doing the really heavy lifting work spiritually, emotionally, and kind of carrying the load on the energetic level for many, 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 many years, are going to start being given an opportunity to not so much come back down to earth, but to start to feel the joy of living on earth again, to start to feel the sensation of, oh, I love this planet, or being here is wonderful. And, the heaviness lifting. And I'm being shown like that the people who have been sort of more living in the kind of logical, practical, masculine side of the planet, the more 3D, the denser aspects of it, and have kind of stayed in that place, while those of us have been off in the ethers, clearing and doing the quantum healing and crying into our pillows and our bath water every night, while we feel the collective. They're going to start stepping onto their spiritual paths, and they're going to start being given the opportunity to open their hearts and begin seeking more than what the 3D Earth has offered them. So anywhere that they've been feeling a lack of fulfillment, there's a whole new epic wave of people about to start opening to the spiritual, investigating healing systems, well-being, mindfulness, and deeper. So it definitely feels like the load of responsibility that has been in the hands of the few is kind of beginning to ripple out into the collective. So we're going to have more and more and more people kind of doing the work to help heal the collective, to help heal themselves, and then that creates even more of a ripple effect and a wave. And I keep seeing these kind of two paths coming full circle and rejoining at a much, much higher level. And it's like the wave of this, like the further you go along, the kind of easier it becomes for people. So those of you who are elders now, who've been doing this work and holding space on this planet for a lot longer, while those of us who were asleep when we were asleep, and now we're awake, it's like it gets easier and easier and easier, because it's almost like I almost like see a wedge or a pyramid that's like moving, and those that were at the forefront have the hardest bit to break through the ice, like a ship that's cutting through icebergs. And those at the back have a sort of easier job, but there's more of them. These are the kind of imagery. This is the kind of imagery I'm being given. So when I tune into this, I get this overall feeling of relief and you know, it's almost like permission to not have to do it all yourselves, you know, for everyone. And I know that it's a bit like whack-a-mole. I was saying to somebody this evening, it's like if you had, you know, the earth, and then all this magma and plasma and heat rising up from the earth, and then you have the volcanoes that let out the steam, that let out that energy, or chimneys. You know, if there's a pressure cooker and there's a pipe that the steam needs to come out of, us healers are like the pipes. So when you've got emotion and you've got programming and you've got collective pain and trauma, if there are many people on the planet not ready, willing, or able to look at their trauma or to deal with their emotions or to go into the subconscious and do the work, those programs are going to come up and out from the collective field through the bodies, the emotions, the sensations, and the life experience of those that are ready, willing, and able to do that work. And that's why the few often is carrying the weight for the many. And it's not meant to be, it's not like a rescuer program. It's just like physics. It's those that are open become the channel for it to move through if you're ready, willing, and able to look, if you're consciously doing the work. And we're all part of the oneness, and we're all rejoining the oneness through unity, love, consciousness. So we're all tapped into the field. And whether or not it feels like it's ours on an individual level, it's ours. If we're seeing it, if we're witnessing it, it's coming to us to clear. But that field is getting wider and broader. And there's also this clear sense that those who have done the work, who've been working extensively on themselves and the field, it's like I see us like, and you know, they say the field, and I'm seeing us literally walking onto a field, a beautiful field, and lying down in the grass and having a good long rest, because quite frankly we're exhausted, and we can't keep doing what we're doing. So one of my favorite things at the moment, as you guys have seen, is just to get out in nature and just walk and connect with nature and connect with beauty and come back to the simplicity of life. And we've got to remember that we have to remain in balance. And I've spoken to so many amazing healers, psychics, empaths, channels who, you know, spend so much of their time kind of digging into the shadow, fixing, healing, serving in service, that they often forget about themselves. And it's really necessary to go out and let yourself have some fun, take time off. We mustn't neglect self-care. We absolutely need self-care, and we need it more than ever. So whatever you can do that brings you joy. I mean, I made another video this morning when I was on my way to Tai Chi and singing, and that's once a week I take myself off to a singing lesson because I absolutely love singing. I go to Tai Chi, I go for walks in the park. I'm carving out much more time for myself this year, as much as I can. But taking up a painting or a pottery class, something that you can do with your hands that takes you out of your head, out of the overthinking, into the body, and you can put intention into that. You can put intention into anything that you create or make. You can cook a beautiful meal. It's something that makes you feel, you know, proud of what you've created. And we're moving from this time of clearing back into a time of, what are we going to create on this space, this blank canvas, this clean page that we've created for ourselves? What are we going to build? What are we going to make from here? So creativity coming back online, joy, a spark of joy coming back online, and we're going to start seeing a lot more evidence of the new earth that we've really been anchoring in. So there we go, 2 times 10:10 on my clock as I finish making this video. So there's my piece of evidence, 10:10, 2 timelines converging for a new start, the ones and the zeros, new beginnings, new starts. and balance. Remember to live in balance. So I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I hope this message brings a little bit of relief and a little bit of hope for those of you who've been struggling. It has been a really, really intense time. As I say, we're always probably going to have contrast. We are living in very, very interesting times, but we do live on planet Earth, and it is a place of duality. But we're going to see a little bit more harmony in that realm of duality, I think, going forward, and many, many, many more people stepping onto their awakening path, questioning the system, seeking something more. The old band-aids that used to bring a false sense of fulfillment are no longer working, and so we need to really seek what brings us true fulfillment. So just ask yourself, what brings me joy, and do more of that. So I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day or evening wherever you are in the world, and sending lots of love. Mwah.